Alrighty guys, it is Qaaman here today, and I am joined by my video partner in crime.
Hello there everybody, I'm Blackenfist and I'll be your guest for today.
Yes, and we will be talking about something that I have observed from the Dragon Ball Z series, and in particular, this is going to be my first Dragon Ball Z TFT series on my channel. Long story short, essentially, our Dragon Ball Z TFT series, both Blackenfist and I are doing, is a series where we talk about our observations about the show, things that we've, noticed growing up watching Dragon Ball, and
they're not necessarily big things. It's pretty much small things, small little details.
Just topics that we want to talk about, but don't have direct answers. And in particular, I noticed something. It's the Cell Juniors, and for my first topic, I'd like to talk about the Cell Juniors and their regeneration. Now, for those of you who don't know, when in both the manga and the anime, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan wiped out the Cell Juniors with almost no difficulty. And in the anime, more in particular, after Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, cuts their heads off, right after Gohan cuts their heads off, the Cell Juniors don't regenerate their body parts. And I always found that kind of interesting, that they just, exploded. You know what I mean? And what I find funny is that in the manga, Gohan actually just cuts them up into pieces. But what I find interesting is that the Cell Juniors are able to do all of Cell's attacks, like flying and shooting Kamehamehas and special beam cannons, but for whatever reason, they don't know how to regenerate. And I always found that interesting, and I wanted to get your thoughts, Blackenfist, and definitely you guys in the comment section.
Well, that's actually something that I actually, didn't think too hardly about when I was watching the series, until Qaaman really brought it up to me. And I guess when you do watch that scene, it is kind of strange how the Cell Juniors just blew up into dust. I mean, I always felt that it was just for effect, but the only explanation that I could really come up with is one where it's that Gohan is just so insanely powerful that, and of course this is just my explanation to just try, I guess, kind of cover the hole up, you could say, so to speak. But the only explanation I could say is that Gohan is just so powerful that when he punches and kicks the Cell Juniors, the punches and kicks have so much force behind them that they pretty much just disintegrate the Cell Juniors on a cellular level. And I know that kind of sounds over the top and kind of ridiculous, but Dragon Ball is kind of an over the top and ridiculous show, so it could possibly work. So any thoughts, Qaaman?
Blackenfist, I find it funny that out of all the years that have gone by, I have never even considered that. And I really like that point because it does make sense to some degree that if let's say Gohan hit one of us, right? If Gohan hit one of us, I'm pretty sure that the impact of the force of his hit would cause us to disintegrate. So obviously the Cell Juniors are way stronger than we could dream of, but I mean compared to us, but compared to Gohan, his strength was probably so much that he caused them to disintegrate. But I mean, I just find it funny how there were scenes where the head just fell off and then the body just blew up seconds later. And
yeah, I know exactly. Yeah, I guess that could also be countered because I get what you're saying, because the head might disintegrate, but the body wasn't necessarily hit. So shouldn't they be able to regenerate? I get what you're saying. Once again, it could be just for effect.
Yes, but it's just an observation. It might not be the most biggest observation in the show, but I always found it funny how the Cell Juniors never regenerated. And if they did regenerate, you could say that they could get a Zenkai boost and get much stronger. I'm not saying they would be able to beat Gohan, but I mean, you gotta think that that would make them stronger. But now that we're on the topic of the Cell Juniors, just to put another little minor topic into this shorter video, what do you think about Cell during the Kamehameha clash? Now, In the anime, let's always differentiate the anime and the manga, because we do have some people who, you know, would obviously find it weird that we combine them all the time. But what I find interesting about the Kamehameha clash with Gohan, specifically the anime, is that during that scene, the Z Fighters were interrupting, you know, Cell when he was trying to blast Gohan, right? And I always found, why didn't Cell just spit out a Cell Jr. to, like, annoy Gohan while he was doing the Kamehameha clash? Or was he so confident that he didn't even need the Cell Jr. that he just said, to hell with this?
Well, I think, yeah, actually, that's an interesting thing. I think that there's a couple things there. One, obviously, could be that, you know, Cell was definitely feeling pretty cocky of himself at that point, and, you know, Piccolo, Krillin, and Tien were so weak that he probably felt... One possibility is that he probably felt that they were so weak that he could just take care of them by himself. Another possibility could be that Cell, I guess, was too preoccupied within the moment that he didn't think about it. That's kind of weird saying something like that, but that could be something too. I mean, I suppose.
I mean, Blackenfist, wouldn't you say it would be kind of funny? I mean, we both know that there is really no such thing as super perfect Cell. We just use that term to describe Cell when he got stronger, but he's really just perfect Cell with a power boost. And
that's true. That's true. Keep in mind that Cell himself never used the term super perfect Cell.
It was created by fans, basically.
Well, I mean, I don't think it was created by fans. I think it was created by, like, the writers or the people that wrote the Daizenshu to differentiate, the strength between those two versions of Cell, pretty much.
My point was that if he had spit out the Cell Juniors, would they be super perfect Cell Juniors?
Well, I suppose they would also get a power boost, considering the fact that they are part of, you know, like their power is kind of determined by Cell himself.
Right, so, and if Cell is in his second form, can he spit out Cell Juniors like second form Cell Juniors? I don't know, these are just thoughts that I've always thought about, you know, just sharing my opinion on these Cell Juniors. Do you think he could spit them out in his earlier forms?
Probably not. I think that that's something that might be reserved for his perfect form. I mean, if you really look at Cell, his anatomy changed significantly when he went to his perfect form. Obviously, he became a lot more human, but besides human, like, he lost his tail pretty much, and I think that the reason he did is obviously because he didn't need to absorb anything anymore.
Actually, Blackenfist, don't want to correct you, but the tail, he can still bring it out when he wants to. He just chooses not to. I know GT's not canon by other people's standards, but if you consider GT a part of the official timeline, then Cell did use that tail to absorb Goku in GT.
Well, that's the thing. It's GT. The thing is, for the most part, he kind of retracted his tail. He kind of changed in that way, and I think that's the reason, was because I think he was designed to absorb 17 and 18, and that's it. And I don't think that he will be able to make Cell Juniors in his other forms, honestly. But, you know.
That's a good point I didn't consider. Well, that seems like we've, you know, gone through quite a few things about Cell Juniors, and, you know, I've always had my thoughts on them, and Blackenfist always has his, and we will do a lot more Dragon Ball TFT series for the future, because Blackenfist and I will both tell you these videos don't take as much editing as specific segments, so you guys can expect one every single week from the both of us, because we can do these at a much faster pace. Blackenfist, do you have anything to say about your most recent TFT?
Yes, go check out my most recent TFT, which is me and Qaaman talk about some of the peculiar things about Battle of Gods. More prominently, why is it that Beerus and Whis do not know how to instant transmission, which is something weird. And also, the ages of some of the characters don't make sense, like Mai and Bulma. So if you want to catch our discussion on that, you can head over to my channel.
But that does it for this video today, guys. I'm Qaaman, and Blackenfist, can you say your classic finishing line?
And I'm Blackenfist, guys. And as always, I'm out, man.
And please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. And remember, as I always say, to have a great day.